Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Now I hope all of you are doing well, because I am as always. And in this video we'll be doing a bit of a weird thing. Now this is the video we're doing is we're going to be attempting a water landing in infinite flight. And it's something which isn't really done very often in the mobile flight simulator here. And many people here will be aware of the miracle of the Hudson, where US Airways flight 1549 actually managed to do a water landing in the Hudson River. Now I'm not too sure what runway they took off from, so we're going to use runway 31 because I think that seems like the most likely one they might have used, or it might be runway 13 rings a bell. So we'll use runway 13. And basically what happened is the aircraft here had a dual engine loss due to a bird strike on its climb. Okay, so that's what's going to happen to us, except infinite flight doesn't have any birds, so we're going to have to unfortunately turn our engines off. Now I think it's a bit more realistic as well if we use just that view, but you can see here that the aircraft here is looking pretty good. Now if I zoom out, it's a bit hard to tell where the water is in infinite flight from certain heights sometimes, but I believe that is the Hudson River down along there and all around here. So we're going to have to take off and make a quick left little turn to make sure we are on track with the runway. So we're going to bring our flaps down to 2 and our trim to 14% for takeoff. And we're just going to make sure we're all ready to take off here on the runway. So just checking those flaps are fully down as well. They look like they're ready. So let's go for takeoff. We'll punch up to 40% for this takeoff. Now it's going to be quite a challenging flight here for us, because you know, water landings aren't really something that you do in infinite flight that often. So hopefully this A320 will be able to do this for us. Now the A320 here we're using is like the same plane that actually happened in the Miracle of the Hudson, where the Captain Sully landed, of course, his aircraft on the Hudson River in New York as well. So I'm going to bring our speed up again here to 80%, and hopefully we don't push M1 above 100%. We're going to try and keep our climb and everything as realistic as possible. However, we don't actually have a flight plan to follow, so I suppose it's a little bit awkward. We've just nearly hit 80 knots. We're almost at 100 knots there. So we're at V1 and we are almost ready to rotate anyway. In just a second. We are running out of runway though, but I think we're going to be alright. So we're going to start our rotation now. There we go, rotate, and we are airborne. Now we are pitching up way too high here, and we did almost approach stall there. Not sure what that came up. We're at 15 degrees pitch, which I am very comfortable with, and we are positive rating. Going to bring those gear up. So I'm very happy with that. Now we'll keep our heading steady for just a second while we gain a little bit of speed here. This will be a little bit awkward for us to make sure we can get to a decent enough altitude without having to fall out the sky, like quite literally. So we're looking good there. Now I'll start off a left turn a little bit. We'll head to heading 100 because our engines will unfortunately, well, I'll have to turn the engines off in a little bit. So then we'll be ready to land. Now I'm not too sure on the altitude. I think it's about 1500 feet actually when the bird strike happened, but we're clearly not going to make that in infinite flight at 1500 feet dual engine loss. So we will enter our climb for a little bit. So here we are at 15 degrees pitch. I'm still very happy with this on our climb. It might seem a bit steep for quite a few people, but I'm very content with it. So there we go. We are chilling on our cruise. So right now we're going to have our dual engine loss 3, 2, 1 kapoof. As both engines gone. I'm going to bonk on the APU now, so we still have a power source, and just make sure everything is still working intact. Okay, so that's the first thing. We've lost both engines now, and our airspeed is actually crazily low. That's a little bit annoying already, so we're going to have to like slowly pitch down to make sure we can keep up some speed, and we're just going to check that there are actually no airports we can realistically make it to, so that's alright. Pretty sure they took off from the opposite end of the runway we did. I think they might have actually used end 31 in the realistic thing, but again, we're not headed for the same place. We're just going to try and land in the water. We're going to go for the river because it'll be a little bit more fun for the video, but we are at flaps 1 and we won't really have our flaps fully extended for our landing anyways, but that is the river we are aiming for here. So we're just going to keep on that autopilot turning for us. We can see it over there. Now that's the airport we took off from. There's little LaGuardia, and here is our happy place, our little river. So I'm going to take a little bit of manual control here on the turning, just to make sure we're definitely in line with it. And I'm just really hoping we don't actually crash into the water on our landing here. So we are looking quite okay. We're going to bring our flaps up to 2. And we're still going to have to keep our pitch down. It looks like there's a bridge there, but we're going to imagine that bridge doesn't actually exist, and we're going to still continue to push back. And we are down here already at 400 feet, so we're very nearly at sea level, and we are dropping like flies. So hopefully we'll be able to pull up. So we're still 200 feet, quite a way. We're going to bring flaps down to 3, just very briefly, give us that final little bit of extra lift there. Hopefully we can do it 40, 20. There we go. We're at ground. We're ground level, and we've done it. We crashed. Okay. I spoke way too soon there. We'll try it again with a little bit more speed. We'll try it from the exterior view and see how it looks, because I thought we landed that first time, if you ask me. So there we go. We're nearly there, and bang. Okay, so we did it. We actually did it all. No, we're still flying. Okay. And then that's going to be a crash, isn't it? So it looks like we're not actually as good as we thought. So we'll try again from the HUD view and see how possible it is here. Bring our flaps down to 3. Get a little bit of extra lift, hopefully. Okay, that's straight into a crash. Right. So we did try. We sort of landed. Let's go into replay mode here and just see how that went there, because I'm pretty convinced we nearly had that nailed in the bag there. So hopefully the replay mode will be able to show us something. But go on. So this is our first attempt by the looks of it coming down. And we don't look like we're doing such a bad job. And there we go. We're going to hit the ground, because I felt it hit the ground. So that's what happened the first time. And then it said we crashed, because we evidently... Oh, we took off again. Right. Okay, and then that's when it said we crashed, because we've just sunk into the ground. So we were technically on the ground there for a little bit in the water. That's pretty cool. So unfortunately they didn't go quite to planned actually, but we did you know, have a tail strike on takeoff. What? We have to replay this takeoff as well, because that looks very, very dodgy there. Okay, here we go, coming up. Nearly at the end of the runway. We were running out of runway. Oh, that's stinky. That's nasty. That did not just happen. Oh, that is embarrassing. Oof. We weren't even flying straight after we took off as well. We were literally nearly at stall on takeoff. That's what happens when you only use 8% thrust. I think that was a little bit wrong. And I can't believe the LaGuardia isn't 3D yet in infant flight as well. I'm waiting for that to come 3D. That'd be really cool. Okay. Well, you know what? We sort of had landed. We sort of attempted it. We tried our best. See how it looks from the wing view. Hopefully it looks a little bit more scary than it actually was. Oh, there we go. That looks a bit spooky. Kabang. Okay, well you can so we did sort of land. We just kept our nose up. But the second it looks like the nose goes down if a flight goes into crash mode. So I suppose there might not be a feature like that anymore, because I know quite a few years ago you were able to do that. However, if you did enjoy this video, please do make sure you like and subscribe. And I will see you again in my next video. Good night.
Find your way into this wonderland. Cross the